guys. Hey, this is Ajay Iyer and I wanted to ask you a very simple question. Hey, how many of you have heard of Bruce Lee, the martial arts legend? Now, if you are a youngster in your teens or 20s or 30s, you may or may not have heard. But definitely, if you are a little older person, you definitely would have heard of him. See, he made the very famous movie in the mid-70s called Enter the Dragon. And that movie, besides being an absolute super hit, changed how people looked at martial arts. See, martial arts, historically, is a very ancient tradition. I believe it's over 1500 years old, which was developed by the Buddhist monks, primarily in the southern part of India. And because they were constantly being attacked when they'll be traveling from one place to another by the hooligans, thugs, and thieves getting robbed. And having that belief in the concept of non-violence, it developed as a self-defense art. Something for them to defend themselves from any of the various casualties that were happening to them. Now, over the years, this developed and did become fairly popular. And one thing that used to be fairly common when you go to any martial arts competition, you will find the contestants will be showing all the different moves, and a typical contest, right, within a ring will go on for 15, 20, 30 minutes. It's just going on and on and on. Then comes Bruce Lee. And when he got into the ring, the contest will be over in 1 to 2 minutes. It was completely revolutionary. People were absolutely amazed at his skill. It was like bang, 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 it's over. The opponent wouldn't even have a clue what the hell happened here. He's on the floor, completely defeated. And that's what made Enter the Dragon an amazing movie. Seeing his discipline and his style that he used in martial arts. And his influence was so strong that after that movie, throughout the world, in probably every single city and even towns, young people and children wanted to learn martial arts. They all wanted to become like Bruce Lee, because he showed them what could be done with martial arts. But we need to ask a very simple question. After all, in a sport or a tradition that's over 1500 years old, what did Bruce Lee do so differently that was never done before? And here's the key. See, up until that time, all the players used to learn a lot of techniques. And there are over 1,000 plus techniques or moves that any martial arts student can learn. And many were doing that. So they were learning a whole lot of techniques and practicing it a few times. What Bruce Lee did different was, he understood the essentials, the key techniques that one must learn in that sport. And he practiced each one of them hundreds and thousands of times. Got the difference? Many techniques, practicing it a few times because that's what time will let you do. Or the essentials, the core that any good martial artist must know, and he practiced over 1,000 times. And he practiced and practiced so well that it became a second nature. Impulsively he will act because it has become a second nature. There was nothing to think. He will just do. And what that did was, when he got into the ring and he'll get into any contest, his techniques were again the most essential, right? Not every single thing. He was not dancing on the, in the ring. He will go, his goal was very simple, knock down the opponent. And within 60 to 120 seconds, 1 to 2 minutes, he will knock the opponent down. Many times in one shot, he will knock them down, knockouts. That's what made Bruce Lee so famous. Now the question is, once we know what Bruce Lee did, how can we use it in our lives? See, Bruce Lee has a very, very powerful message, not just in the field of martial arts or just in the field of sports, but in every aspect of life. See, he specialized. He was super specialized. And that's what we have to do. He did learn a lot of things. I'm not saying he never learned others. He did learn. But the key fundamentals, he specialized. He was super special and so phenomenally good. So when you're in a profession, when you're in school, let's say your favorite subjects, the stuff you want to pursue. Let's say if you want to become a doctor, man, you need to be solid in your biology, right? I mean, you really know the human body and all that stuff. Same thing if you want to become an engineer, good in physics and math. Or if you want to become a chemical engineer, of course, math and chemistry. So you have to become good at it. Yes, do you have to study other subjects? Yes, because the exams and the system requires it, which is fine, but you have to show your strength in that particular area. So once, let's say you become a IT engineer, you do computer science, right? When you get interviewed, and let's say you say your specialty is, let's say, programming or computer architecture, anybody who interviews you for employment will have no doubt that you really know this subject. Man, this man knows. It's not a belief. It'll be a conviction because you're so good at that. There are other subjects, yes, you may have to study, but the area you want to specialize in, you must be awesome. Same thing in a career. Okay, let's say you want to become a coder. Yeah, there are so many programming languages, right? So you need to understand what are the essentials of any programming languages, and there are only a limited number of essentials. And then in the particular area you're specializing, you really go deep and become so good that anytime anybody has a question in your company, the only person they can think of is you. Bruce Lee style, right? Deep and strong. You have done a lot of coding, you have applied it and practiced, right? And I can give you many examples that I observed in real life of guys who are so good that anybody asks them, hey, in this particular field, if they need help or a consultant, you go through multiple channels, everyone, this name will always keep popping up. So that's a lesson we all can learn from the life of Bruce Lee. It's beyond martial arts, beyond sports. It works in every area of your life. Super specialized in the key essentials, all the fundamentals of your area, whatever job you're doing it or whatever profession you are in. You have to become the go-to person. And anybody, when they think of that topic, your name comes to mind and you really are good. Not the PR kind of good, but you really know the subject in and out, deep. So, with that said, take some time, think about it, do the analysis, and follow this. A legend followed this methodology, this technique to become a legend, and you can too. With that said, I'll be signing off. But before that, please share, like, or comment. I'd like to hear from you. Do you agree with me? Do you have different ideas, a different perspective? I'd love to hear from you. So with that, I'll be signing off. This is Ajay Iyer. Take care.